Capitulum vicesimum sextum, Daedalus et Icarus, Lecture 6, versus centesimus undecimus usque adversum centesimum undecicesimum. Hic Quintus, qui exitum fabulae studiose expectat, interrogat, quid tum accidet? At this point, Quintus, who is waiting eagerly for the outcome of the story, asks, what happens then? Notice that hic is the adverb, not this Quintus, but at this point, here, at this juncture in the story, Quintus, who is waiting for the end, the outcome, exitus, exitus, fourth declension, of the story, adverb studiose, eagerly, zealously. What happens then? Accidit, which is cognate with our word accident, something that occurs or happens. Dum factum est id quod necesse erat accidere. Then that happened which had to happen. Ignis solis propinqui ceram, qua pene iuncte et fixe erant, molivit et penas uset. The fire of the nearby sun softened the wax by which the feathers were joined or had been joined and had been attached, and burned the feathers. So tum, then, factum est id. It happened or took place, it occurred or that happened, relative clause, which it was necessary, which was necessary to happen. So a little bit awkward if we try to hack at it literally. Erat imperfect tense, factum est perfect tense. Solus and propinqui in the genitive case, propinquus, nearby, an adjective related to the adverb or preposition prope. Iuncte and fixe erant, pluperfect, tense, passive voice, by which, with which the feathers had been joined and had been attached. It softened. The fire of the sun softened the wax and burned the feathers. Iurere, iusisse, iustum, esse, the forms there that we need to observe with that verb. Puer teritus, lacertos nudos quatiens, in mare cecidit, ac mersus est, neque pater ei auxilium fere potuit. The terrified boy, shaking, present participle, shaking his bare upper arms, fell into the sea and was drowned and was submerged. And his father was not able to help him. So potuit perfect tense couldn't bring help to him, could not help him. Cecidit, perfect tense, active voice from cadere, cecidisse, casum esse, and mersus est, perfect tense as well, sort of deponent, because of the passive idea that will be involved there. One generally doesn't submerge or drown oneself, but passive at any rate in form, was drowned. Quatiens, present participle, the direct object, lacertos nudos. Ea maris Aegei pars in qua Icarus mersus est, a nomine eius mare Icarium appellator. ea, pars, that part, just like saying illa or haik, another demonstrative adjective. Ea pars, that part of the Aegean Sea in which Icarus was drowned is called, apilator, is called the Icarian Sea, or is named the Icarian Sea from his name, a nomine eius. Item insula propinqua, in cuius litore corpus pueri inventum est, etiam nunc Icaria vocator. Likewise, the nearby island, on whose shore litas, litores, littoral, in English cognate, on whose shore the body of the boy was found, perfect tense passive voice, etiam nunc, even now, is called, present tense vocator, Icaria. Icaria insula. Ecce, omnem fabulam habes, de puero temerario, qui libertatem quaerens mortem invenet. What I've done here on some of my slides, but not all of them, is I've used a system of color coding to mark verbs, to mark nominatives, and to mark direct objects of the verb. Not necessarily all accusatives, but direct objects of the verb. Look, you have the whole story, where omnis omne can be used as a synonym of totus, the whole story, all the story. About the rash boy, de puero temerario, who, seeking freedom, libertatem quaerens, present participle, found death. Mortem invenet. Libertatem, the object of quaerens, mortem, the object of invenet. Perfect tense. Invenire, invenisse, inventum esse. Invenit, present tense, he finds. Invenet, perfect tense, he found. Iam tempus est, iam tempus dormiendi est. Non efessus es, longas fabulas audiendo? Now it is time to sleep. Now is the time of sleeping, as it were, the gerund in the genitive case. You're tired, aren't you? Nonne, expecting a positive and affirmative answer. You're tired, aren't you? By listening, the gerund in the ablative case. By listening to, and then longas fabulas is the direct object of audiendo. By listening to long stories, aren't you? Quintus caput quatit, et non sum fessus, nec illa fabula longa esse mihi videtur. Quintus shakes his head, quatio, quatere, and says, I am not tired. And that story, illa fabula, does not seem to me to be long. Ex omnibus fabulis, haec de casu Icari me maxime delectat. Out of all stories, this story understood haec fabula, about the fall, casus, where we get the word case from, about the fall of Icarus, pleases me, me delectat maxime, most of all. Etiam magis quam illa de filio solis. Even more than that story, illa fabula, about the son of the son. qui curum patris regere conatus, item de sumo celo cecidit, who, having tried, perfect passive participle, but from a deponent verb, having tried to steer, direct, guide, regere, the chariot of his father, also, item, also fell, cadere, cecidisse, casumesse, also fell from the highest part of the sky. Quod ab orbe solis stulte aberaverat, because he had wandered foolishly from the circle of the sun, from the orb, the sphere of the sun. Semper valde delector tales fabulas audiendo. I am always greatly pleased, notice the passive voice, delector, by listening to, ablative of the gerund, by listening to such stories. And tales fabulas, the accusative object of audiendo.